The hardest thing to do in basketball, close out a series against the reigning champion on their court. And that's exactly what the New York Liberty are trying to do. Game 4 between New York and the Las Vegas Aces set for Sunday. New York leads the best-of-5 series 2-1. And New York Liberty beat reporter for Winsidr and co-host of Pull Up with Myles and Owen podcast, Myles Ehrlich, joins us now to get us set for the game. Myles, thank you so much for joining us, man.
Of course, Jason. Great to talk to you.
Before we talk about Game 4, I've got to ask you about Game 3, in which the Liberty lost 91-85. That happened Friday night, and we got to break down that third quarter. Vegas outscoring New York 21-6. How'd the Liberty let it get away so early in the second half?
So I think this was just the case of, as you said at the jump, like this is Vegas that had to fight for their lives. This is a Las Vegas team who, for the first time in Becky Hammon's 3-year tenure, had to face an elimination game. With its back to the wall, they just upped the intensity. That first half was back and forth action. Each team was punching, counter-punching. There was shot making, but there was a consistent pace that New York was able to handle. But then in that third quarter, Vegas really just upped that defensive pressure and imposed its will. It was blowing up everything at the point of attack. And then that snowballed in a way that we don't normally see with this Liberty team. But there was not much movement off the ball. They just kind of looked staggered by some of the pressure that they thought they'd gotten Vegas's best punch in that first half. But when that pressure went up, they were just not able to match it.
You mentioned Vegas's punches defensively. Got to talk about what they did in guarding Sabrina Ionescu, throwing everything at her. I'm talking about double teams, triple teams. It seems as if they have found something enabling them to stop the All-Star. What, in your opinion, do the Liberty need to do to make sure that Sabrina can get back going offensively?
So Sabrina has found so much success all postseason long in getting downhill. And a lot of that came from handling full court pressure and then attacking when she had defenses on her hip. What Vegas did was they just brought extra pressure, and also just shout out to Jackie Young, who just played such a great defensive game, like the Jackie Young we're accustomed to seeing and haven't seen so much in this series before. But what New York needs to do is they can make it a little bit easier on Sabrina by bringing her off the ball for some of these actions, get her moving so that the momentum's already going away from the defense. And B, her teammates just need to be more available to her maybe earlier in the clock. I think that Sabrina has done an enormous job in terms of just handling pressure this season as a whole. And it got to the point last night where that almost felt like that could work against her, to her detriment, because she was like, oh, I got this. But when you're sharing a court with Breanna Stewart and with Jonquel Jones, with Benijah Hamilton, with Leonie Fibish, you don't have to take that all on. Get the ball out of your hands quickly, get the ball in rotation. And like Sandy Brondello said, some of it's with Sabrina understanding that the trust needs to be there, that if she gives that ball up, it will come back to her again later in that same possession.
You got to love a series, right? Like, we see changes, we see point counterpoint, we see differences game in and game out. We know we will see a tenacity from the Las Vegas Aces, because they're up against the wall, and they're the reigning champs. Who's an unknown factor for the Liberty who you think can help New York close out this series in the desert on Sunday?
So I don't know if this is going to be an unknown factor, but they just need more from Jonquel Jones than they were able to get last night. She had just 11 points and 6 rebounds and dealt with foul trouble. That's when that game really felt like it was going away from them, because when JJ's aggressive inside, when JJ can take care of the paint, that just changes the math completely. And over the past 2 seasons, when Jonquel Jones has a double-double, the Liberty are 29-3. So basically, you get her the ball in the post, you let her do her thing defensively as a help defender, as a one-on-one defender on Asia, where even if she's slowing Asia and not stopping her, knowing that you can stay home and the rest of your matchups can stay home, that just enables the Liberty to play better defense around. And then you don't have Kelsey Plum and Jackie Young and Chelsea Gray all also going off at the same time. JJ is really the hub for all of that. So yeah, get her going early and just keep her on the court. And then the Liberty should be in much better shape than they were on Friday night.
Jonquel Jones, one-time WNBA MVP. Embarrassment of riches in this series. We're looking forward to Game 4 between the Las Vegas Aces and the New York Liberty. Myles Ehrlich, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Jason.